So last night, John Mayer made history by returning to the stage with the John Mayer Trio after a 6-year hiatus. This came for the Love Rocks New York City benefit on March 9th. And that is not the only thing that was significant about this performance. John Mayer is back to playing Fender guitars. That's right. He infamously, for some of you, ditched Fender for Paul Reed Smith and his signature Silver Sky. Yes, it was only for one song that he came back to Fender, but we still haven't seen him play a Fender Strat in a really, really long time. This wasn't just any Fender Strat. This was his custom shop Monterey prototype. This is designed after the Jimi Hendrix guitar that was set on fire during the Monterey Pop Festival in the late 60s. There were very few of these replicas ever made. They were made in the 90s, and you may remember the guitar from the Continuum era. Mayer played it a lot during that time, as well as with the original run of John Mayer Trio shows. It's now back, and you guessed it, they played a Hendrix cover, and he used that guitar. They played Wait Until Tomorrow. So the performance was really, really cool. It was one of the few times that we really have a high-quality HD direct comparison between the Silver Sky from Paul Reed Smith that he has been playing almost exclusively the last few years, and one of his iconic Fender Stratocasters. Now, it's not the black one, it's not the 64 Strat, but it's a Strat that we've seen Mayer play quite a bit. So I'm curious, have you seen this performance? Have you watched it? And where do you fall on the Silver Sky versus Strat playing Mayer Continuum? Yes, I know what I did there. I think it's tough because they're both really, really great sounds, really cool guitars. Obviously, they were used on different songs. So you had Vultures, you had Wait Until Tomorrow, you had Who Did You Think I Was? So you're comparing different tones and different settings and different songs, so he's attacking the guitar differently. So it's difficult to say, which one would serve which song better. Obviously, I think the Hendrix guitar and the Hendrix song makes a lot of sense. But I'm curious, what does this remind you of an era gone by that you miss with John Mayer playing Fender Strats? Are you still happy with the Silver Sky era that we are in and will be in for some time, I would imagine? Me personally, I think, they can coexist. And he's said that. I think Paul Reed Smith has said that, one is not meant to replace the other. But, for all intents and purposes, the Silver Sky has replaced the Strat for John Mayer, at least in his live performances. So it was really interesting to see that he brought that back out. Now, he brought out an old amp too. I mean, it's kind of I won't say nostalgia because it hasn't been that long, but the John Mayer Trio era is definitely something for us John Mayer fans that we look back on as a very interesting and special and groundbreaking time for him, both in the gear that he started to use, obviously playing with Pino Palladino and Steve Jordan, the songs, the revamped versions of some songs that he brought into the trio, the covers. It's a really interesting time. And of course, the Monterey Strat plays a big role in that. So it's back. We don't know for how long. My guess is this is probably a one-time thing. This was a short concert. The concert itself wasn't short, but their performance was only 3 songs. Mayer took the stage later for kind of a big group jam, had the Silver Sky. So I feel like we saw the Monterey Strat for maybe the one and only time. It makes sense. It's a significant and interesting time to bring it back out for that one song. But I don't see this guitar making a huge comeback and being used with the frequency that it was used during the 2005, 6, 7, 8 era for John Mayer. So enjoy it for what it is. You got one song. Probably not going to get many others. I think we're still in the Silver Sky era, which I'm good with. I have a Silver Sky. I think it's great. I think his playing has evolved. His sound has evolved. The Silver Sky is certainly part of that. Certainly the aesthetic has evolved. It looks different. I know it gets its hate. It's because of its direct lineage to the Stratocaster. But again, I think they can coexist. I would love to know, though, what you think. Which camp are you in? Are you in Fender or the Paul Reed Smith camp? Interesting. You can answer both because that's what I'm answering. But if you have a strong opinion one way or the other, I would love to hear it.